If you're thinking about buying a home or selling a home in Charlotte, North Carolina, then you're probably wondering, how's the market? The market is shifting and you need to be aware of what's happening. In today's video, we are going to be looking at the data points from January 2023. Every month, I do a market report showing what has happened in the previous month so that you're aware of how the real estate market is going in Charlotte, North Carolina. If that interests you, be sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss the next one. So let's jump right into the numbers. Let's start with new listings. In January 2023, there were 3,184 new listings, which was a drastic increase from the month before. Of course, that's to be expected. December is filled with holidays, so December tends to be a very low month in real estate new listings. And if you take a look at this graph below, you'll see that this is kind of the heartbeat of real estate, right? It tends to be very seasonal, very cyclical, and you can tell that pretty much at the end of every year in December is the low point, and in the summertime, you get your high point. So just remember that it is very common for December to be very low. So definitely this massive increase in January is to be expected. Besides that, I think a lot of people are adjusting to the new interest rates and the new real estate market and are getting more comfortable with listing their homes and are kind of getting that jump start on the spring selling season. Keep in mind, this was a 20% decrease from January 2022. 2022 was obviously a very tumultuous year in real estate. We went from very, very healthy, high market in the beginning of the year with very good interest rates. And then that cooled a lot throughout the year. So we did have a 20% decrease from January 2022. Let's take a look next at pending sales. Pending sales are the homes that went under contract, and those happened during January. There were 3,638 homes that went under contract in January 2023. Again, a huge increase from December, and only a 12% decrease from January 2022. This indicates that a lot more buyers are entering the market. And we definitely saw that in our day-to-day real estate sales in January. Lots more buyers hit the market. They're adjusting to that new interest rate and they're getting used to what's happening in our current market instead of comparing it to what they may have missed out on in the pandemic market. So that is the here below is the graph for the historical sales. These are, of course, showing the pending sales for every single month since January 2004. So as you can see, again, real estate is very seasonal. Next, let's talk about closed sales. This is pretty self-explanatory. These are the homes that closed during the month of January. There were 2,261 homes that closed in January 2023. Remember that these are the homes that likely went under contract in December. So of course it's going to be a little bit of a lower number because this is going to be a delayed number because these are the homes that went under contract the month before. Since December is a little bit slower real estate month, we would expect to see that a little bit lower number. This was a 37.9% decrease from January 2022. If you look at this last column here, that is the largest deficit across all of last year, showing the year-over-year difference from one year to the next. So definitely January 2023 had far fewer closings than last January. Remember though, that was a much different market that we were dealing with. This next number that I like to talk about is days on market. This number is very indicative of what's going on in the market because days on market will tell you how fast homes are selling, how fast they're going under contract. Essentially, it's tracking all of the days that you can still view the property, that you can still tour it. So in January 2023, we hit a number that is higher than it's been in a very long time, 46 days on market. This is a 100% increase from January 2022. Remember though, the market is much different. We are tracking up Month after month, we are tracking up on this days on market. This is indicating that buyers are in a little bit of a stronger position. So if you are thinking about buying, you might be looking at possible seller concessions. Buyers in this market can potentially ask for things like a home warranty to be paid by the seller or closing costs to be paid for by the seller. In some cases, they're even asking for a large amount of a seller concession, getting a 2-1 buy down, meaning that they can get a lower interest rate for the first 2 years of their mortgage. So that's very important. If you have questions on a 2-1 buy down, please reach out. My number's on the screen for you. I would love to help you talk more about this. You can also be asking for a lower sale price. You can put in an offer under the list price in some cases. Not every sales bracket, not every neighborhood is allowing this opportunity, but many are. So just keep that in mind. Buyers have a little bit of a stronger position in our current market. So this is, if you look at our previous numbers here, basically we hit our lowest point, our lowest days on market last May and June. May and June 2022, we had 14 days on market, and we have been increasing every single month since then. I am definitely curious to see what happens next month, because we have seen in some neighborhoods, in some towns, in some price brackets, homes are still flying off the market that first weekend. So I am definitely curious to see where this number goes next month. This next number is fascinating to me. This is the average list price for January 2023. It was $454,994, and this is a huge increase from December, and it's also an increase from November. So it is definitely higher, and it went against the trend from what it's been going in the past couple months. It is also a 7.2% increase from last January. So just keep in mind, the average list price has not changed drastically in the past 1 year, the past 365 days. So that is telling us, where are the sellers believing their homes to be priced at? Now this next stat is telling us where the buyers are positioning themselves in the market. This is the average sales price. In January 2023, our average sales price for the whole Charlotte area, $417,430. This is a little bit of a decrease from December, so it is still trending down. It has been for several months, but it is a 6.2% increase from last January. So even with the very tumultuous 2022 that we had, we are still selling homes higher than we did last year. This is very important to recognize. With as much as the real estate market has changed in this past year, prices are still going up. I know many buyers are continuing to wait to purchase until prices come down. And the trend and the data and the numbers are just not showing that happening. We are definitely seeing a smaller gap. We're seeing the difference come down a little bit, but we are not seeing those numbers going in reverse at this point. So just keep that in mind, that this massive crash may not be ahead. As for this next stat, I know a lot of buyers and sellers are on the edge of their seat wondering about the percent of original list price received. This is an important stat for buyers and sellers because it tells each of them where they should be positioning themselves and their prices. So in January 2023, we hit another decrease, although very small, 94.5% of the original list price received. This means that we are still seeing homes sell under list price. This is important for sellers because remember earlier we talked about that average list price going up, and we saw that the average sales price is not hitting that same number. So sellers, if you are thinking about selling your home, do not price it higher than the market. This will increase your odds of getting multiple offers, And if you get multiple offers, that means competition for your home. And when there's competition for your home, that means you'll get a higher price. So avoid the temptation of pricing high. That's what I'm trying to get through. Now, buyers, this means that in certain neighborhoods, certain locations, in certain price ranges, you have the opportunity to offer a price lower than list price. This hasn't happened very much in the past few years. So this gives you an opportunity to be the only person looking at a home, the only person making an offer on a home. That means if you don't have competition, you can increase your leverage and get seller concessions, a home warranty, and you can offer a price lower than list. And our last stat for today is inventory of homes for sale. This is taking a count at the end of the month, how many homes are left on the market. So in January 2023, that number is 5,768 homes on the market at the end of January. This is a huge decrease from December, and I think that it's due in part to all of the new buyers who came back into the market. Lots of buyers were taking a break, waiting for interest rates to come down, and I think that it just became reality that these are the new normal numbers, and if you have to buy, you have to buy, so you're jumping back into the market. We had a lot of homes go pending in January, and that left our inventory a little bit low. That being said, it is a huge increase, a 55.8% increase from the inventory that was left on the market last January 2022. We had a 55.8% increase this year than last year because, let's face it, it was a much different market. If these stats were interesting to you, please be sure to share this video with your friends and family on social media, and definitely like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.